The last train out of Chicago doesn't feel like the travel. It feels like disappearance with a schedule. Union Station was still bright when I arrived, people rushing, announcements echoing, coffee in paper cups, the city pretending night is ordinary. But the moment you step onto a late train, everything changes. The air inside is different, dry, recycled, quiet in a way that makes every small town feel too loud. I wasn't going far, just Chicago to Milwaukee. A simple ride, 2 hours. I told myself it would be calm, a chance to sit, watch the city dissolve into darkness, maybe even sleep. The car wasn't full. A few scattered passengers, a man with headphones, an older woman clutching a hot tote bag, someone asleep with their hood up. Normal, almost comforting. I found my seat near the window, halfway down the car. The glass reflected my face faintly, layered over the outside world. Chicago did slip past in streaks of neon and steel. Then slowly the car thinned. Buildings became warehouses. Warehouses became dark lots. And then the tracks were running through places that didn't look like they belonged to anyone. I checked the time, 11:47 p.m. The train hummed steadily, a mechanical lullaby. I leaned back. That's when I noticed him. Across the aisle, 2 rows ahead, a passenger sitting perfectly upright, not moving, not sleeping, just present. He wore a dark coat, collar turned up slightly. His hands were folded neatly in his lap. The strange part wasn't that he was quiet. The strange part was that he never shifted. Not once. No phone, no book, no glance out the window. Just stillness, like a photograph placed in a seat. I looked away. People write differently at night, I thought. Maybe he was tired. Maybe he didn't want to be bothered. But minutes passed, then more. And something about him began to feel wrong, not scary, just unnatural. The train made a stop somewhere north of the city, a small station, barely lit. 2 passengers got off. One got on. The doors closed. The train pulled away. I glanced forward again. The man hadn't moved. Same posture, same folded hands, same angle of head, like time wasn't touching him. The overhead lights flickered briefly, just a pulse, and for half a second his reflection appeared in the window beside him. Except it didn't match. The reflection looked delayed, slightly behind, like it was remembering him instead of copying him. My stomach tightened. I told myself it was just glass, just darkness playing tricks. Still, I couldn't stop watching. Another stop, another announcement, next station, Glenview. A few more people stepped out. The car grew emptier, quieter. The sound of the tracks became louder in the spaces between breaths. Soon it felt like only a handful of us remained, and him, always him. At 12:31 a.m., the conductor walked through, checking tickets. He reached my row, nodded, moved on. Then he stopped at the man's seat. "Sir?" No response. The conductor leaned slightly. "Sir, ticket please." The man didn't move. The conductor frowned, then reached out, touching the edge of the seat gently, and I swear, I saw his hand hesitate, like he expected cold. The conductor pulled back quickly, cleared his throat, then, without another word, he continued down the car. I sat frozen, my ticket still in my hand, my pulse louder than the train. Outside, the world was almost completely black now. No city, no lights, just occasional distant signals blinking red in the fog. And then the man turned his head, slowly, not toward the conductor, toward me. His face was pale in the fluorescent light, too pale, His eyes looked unfocused, like they were seeing through the car instead of inside it. And when he spoke, his voice was barely above the sound of the tracks. "You shouldn't be awake for this part." The words landed like a warning, like a rule. I didn't answer. I couldn't. The train kept moving. Chicago was far behind. Milwaukee was ahead. And suddenly I felt something I hadn't felt when I boarded, that this ride wasn't going to end the way it was supposed to. After he spoke, I couldn't breathe normally. "You shouldn't be awake for this part." The sentence wasn't threatening. It was worse than that. It was matter of fact, like someone reminding you of a rule you never agreed to. I kept my eyes forward, pretending I hadn't heard him. The train rocked gently beneath us, steel on steel, a steady rhythm that should have been comforting. But the air felt different now, charged, as if the car itself had noticed something out of place. I glanced toward the window. Outside was nothing but fog and darkness, broken only by occasional red signal lights blinking like distant warnings. Then I heard footsteps again. The conductor, coming back, slower this time, purposeful. He stopped beside my seat, leaning in slightly. His voice was low. "You spoke to him?" I hesitated. "He spoke to me." The conductor's face tightened for a moment. He looked older than he had 10 minutes ago. "You need to move," he said. "What?" "Now." I stared at him, confused. "It's just a guy on a train." The conductor didn't answer that. Instead, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded sheet of paper, a passenger manifest. He ran his finger down the list, lips moving slightly. Then he turned it toward me. "Look." The rows were numbered, seats assigned, names beside them. Every passenger accounted for, except the seat across the aisle, 2 rows ahead. The one the man was sitting in, the seat number wasn't listed. Not blank, not unassigned. It simply wasn't there. Like the row skipped over it. My mouth went dry. "That's impossible." The conductor nodded once. "Grim, yeah." I whispered, "Who is he?" The conductor didn't look at the man, not directly. He kept his eyes on the paper. "People call him different things," he said quietly. "The lost passenger, the empty rider, the one who stays on past the final stop." My stomach turned. "That's not funny. It's not a joke." The conductor finally looked at me. His eyes were sharp with something like exhaustion. "This line has stories," he said. "They don't put them in brochures." I swallowed hard. "Why is he here?" The conductor's voice dropped even further. "Because sometimes someone doesn't get off." The train lights flickered again, longer this time, a full second. The hum of the car stuttered like the power had hesitated. When the lights returned, the man's posture hadn't changed, still upright, still folded hands, but something about him felt closer, not physically, just present in a heavier way, as if his stillness was spreading. I forced myself to whisper, "What do I do?" The conductor didn't answer immediately. He looked down the aisle toward the doors between cars. Then he said, carefully, "Do not look at him too long." I blinked. "What?" "Don't stare," he repeated, as if he stands up. He stopped. "Don't finish the sentence." My heartbeat was loud in my ears. "If he stands up." "What?" The conductor swallowed. "Then you stay seated, no matter what he asks." A cold chill crawled up my spine. The man's voice returned, soft as mist. "I know where you're going." I froze. The conductor stiffened. Neither of us had moved. The man hadn't turned his head. Yet the words landed directly beside my ear. "I know the station you're expecting." His hands remained folded, his gaze remained forward, but I felt his attention like weight. I whispered, barely audible, "How?" The man smiled slightly, not warm, not cruel, just inevitable. "Everyone thinks Milwaukee is the end," he said, "but trains don't stop the way people think they do." The conductor stepped back, shaking his head once, almost to himself. "No," he murmured, "not to me, to the situation, to whatever rule had just been broken." Then, quietly, he reached up and pulled the emergency intercom cord near the ceiling. A harsh buzz filled the car. Passengers stirred, annoyed, confused. The older woman woke. The man with headphones lifted his head. The normal world tried to return. The conductor spoke into the receiver, voice controlled. "Car 3, we have an issue." Static answered, then a voice, faint, distorted. "Is he still seated?" The conductor's jaw clenched. "Yes." A pause. Then the voice said something that made my blood go cold. "Then don't let him reach the last stop." The intercom clicked dead. The conductor lowered his hand slowly. His face had gone pale. "What happens at the last stop?" I asked. He didn't respond, because the train began to slow, not for Milwaukee. We weren't there yet. The brakes hissed. The lights dimmed, and outside the window, through fog that hadn't been there a moment before, I saw a platform, a station, unmarked, unlit, no name, no signs, just a stretch of concrete waiting in the mist. The train came to a full stop. The doors didn't open. Silence filled the car like water, and then, for the first time since I noticed him, the man unfolded his hands, slowly, deliberately, and began to stand. The man stood slowly, like he had all the time in the world. No urgency, no stiffness, just calm motion, as if the train had stopped for him, and only him. The entire car seemed to notice. Even the passengers who had been half asleep lifted their heads. The air changed, thicker, as if the oxygen itself had been replaced with something older. The conductor stepped forward immediately. "Sir," he said, voice sharp now, "remain seated." The man didn't look at him. He simply straightened his coat, smoothing it with careful hands. Then he spoke softly, "This is my stop." My stomach dropped. The train doors were still closed. Outside, the platform sat in fog like a forgotten scar. No lights, no signage, no sound. A station that shouldn't exist. The conductor's jaw clenched. "There is no stop here." The man smiled faintly. "There is for me." The conductor turned toward the control panel near the end of the car, fingers moving fast. I didn't understand what he was doing until I saw the small red lever. Emergency override. He was trying to force the doors to stay shut. His hands trembled. The man tilted his head slightly, almost curious. "You can't keep them closed," he murmured. The conductor didn't answer. He pulled the lever hard. Nothing happened. The doors remained sealed. For a moment, hope flickered inside me. Then, a sound, not mechanical, not normal, a slow metallic click, like something unlocking itself from the outside. The doors slid open. Cold fog poured in instantly, rolling across the floor like water. Passengers gasped. Someone whispered, "What the hell?" The platform smelled wrong, not like rain, not like earth. It smelled like old paper and extinguished candles. The man took one step forward. The conductor blocked him. "You do not get off with them," he snapped. The man's eyes finally met his, not angry, not cruel, just endlessly patient. "I'm not taking them," he said. His voice was gentle. "They're coming on their own." My heart hammered. The fog outside shifted, and then I saw it. Figures standing down the platform, Dozens of them, still, silent, not waving, not moving, just waiting. Some looked like commuters, some looked like travelers, some looked too old-fashioned, coats from another decade. Their faces were blurred by mist, but I could feel their attention, all aimed at the open door, all aimed at us. The older woman near the aisle began to cry quietly. The man with headphones whispered, "This isn't Milwaukee." The conductor's voice broke slightly. "No, it isn't." He turned back toward me, eyes fires. "Listen to me," he whispered. "Do not step onto that platform, no matter what you hear." My throat tightened. "What is this place?" The conductor swallowed. "A station that only appears when someone is missing from the manifest." The man chuckled softly, like that was a charming description. "This is where unfinished passengers wait," he said. The fog thickened, and then a voice called out from the platform. Clear, human, a woman's voice. My name, perfectly spoken. I froze, my blood. It came again. Siren. Not shouted, not desperate, just familiar. Like someone calling me home. I leaned forward without thinking. The conductor grabbed my arm so hard it hurt. "That is not for you," he hissed. But the voice kept coming, gentle, patient. "Come on, you're tired. You can rest now." Around the car, other passengers stirred, eyes glossy. One man stood up slowly, like sleepwalking. The conductor shouted, "Sit down." The man didn't listen. He stepped forward and toward the open door. The last passenger watched, serene. The sleepwalking man reached the platform and vanished into fog instantly, as if erased. A woman screamed. The conductor slammed the emergency alarm again, shouting into the radio, "We need power now. Close the doors." Static. Then the same distorted voice returned, trembling. "You can't close them once he's standing." The conductor's face collapsed. He looked at the last passenger with hatred. "What do you want?" The man's smile softened. "I want what trains always carry," he said. "Those who don't arrive." Then he stepped onto the platform. The fog welcomed him like a curtain. The waiting figures shifted slightly as if acknowledging their conductor. He turned back one last time, eyes finding mine. "You stayed awake," he said, almost impressed. "Most don't." Then he lifted one hand, pointing down the platform. "Your seat will be remembered." And then he was gone. The doors slid shut on their own. The fog cut off like a swerved dream. The train lurched forward violently as if escaping. Passengers sobbed. Someone prayed. No one spoke his name. No one could. Minutes passed. Then the lights stabilized. The normal hum returned. The conductor stood shaken, hand braced against a pole. I whispered, "Where did we stop?" He didn't answer. He only reached into his pocket and pulled out the manifest again. His fingers traced the rows. Then he showed it to me. A new name had appeared, written in faint ink, like it had always been there. The man who sleepwalked off the train, assigned to a seat that hadn't existed before. I stared, breathless. The conductor folded the paper slowly. "Milwaukee is next," he said hoarsely, as if saying it made it true. The train arrived at Milwaukee at 2:14 a.m. Doors opened, bright lights, normal station, normal world. People rushed out, desperate to touch reality. I stepped onto the platform, legs weak. I didn't look back. I didn't want to, but I did, just once. The train windows reflected rows of empty seats, except one. 2 rows ahead, across the aisle, a dark coat, folded hands, sitting perfectly upright, waiting, as if he never left at all. And the last thing I heard, just before the doors closed, was his voice, carried softly through glass. Next time, don't wake up.